Hello, it's the Friday Talkie, and I'm in a different room, as you can probably tell. I'm actually in the games room. It's probably going to wreck the audio, but I just felt like doing something a little bit different. Mainly because I've got this desk, which I didn't have before, and it's cool and I like it, so it's just nice to be able to lean on it. And I've got a telescope. How cool, you didn't know that? Because I never told you before. I wouldn't say I'm any kind of astronomer. In fact, I haven't managed to look at much of anything since I got it because it's cloudy. I got it for my birthday a couple of weeks ago. Yes, but I can tell that the bricks on my neighbours' houses are really cool. No, I've not been. What's the word? I'll just edit all of that out. Yeah, so today's subjects. First off, a tag response. I don't actually know who started the tag, but I have seen responses from Lawn Boys Post 1975, MaximumRD and markvergeer have all done videos on this. What are you into? PC or console gaming? What is your favourite? And I thought I'd answer that. I think quite a few of you know the answer, but I'm just going to answer it anyway. There are actually two ways of looking at this, because if you look at it from a retro point of view, well, back in the day I mainly used computers. Atari 600 XL, Acorn Electron, ZX81 and Commodore Amiga. I used those in preference to the consoles of the day. Though, I mean, in the very early 8-bit era I did have an Atari, and later on I did have Mega Drive and SNES, but mostly I used computers. These days, I have a PC. I like using it, even though it's Windows, and I find Windows loathsome, because I am an Amiga man, and anything other than the Amiga operating system will always seem clunky, bloated, horrible, and generally stupid. But there you go, that's beside the point. I used to play games on my PC quite a lot. And when I had my I still have, when the PS2 was the current gen, I found myself using the PC more, because I had a half-decent graphics card in it, and it just plain looked nicer, and first-person shooters, to be fair, are better with a keyboard and mouse. I love the WASD control method, and when I go back and play really old first-person games that don't use WASD, and particularly on the Amiga, it does my head in. But Crisis changed all of that for me. Fantastic game, takes real brute force, and it killed my PC. Well, it didn't completely kill my PC. It overheated my graphics card, probably did some damage to my power supply, killed the hard drive at the same time. Basically, it overheated or drew too much power. Something happened anyway. It killed the graphics card, it killed the hard drive, and the whole thing was just basically knackered for a while. I replaced the hard drive and ran on native graphics, like the onboard thing, which rendered it useless for games. And that PC eventually died, earlier this year. And I've got a new one now, which is much better for video processing. It's got a faster CPU, and is really nice for all those things that don't need 3D graphics. In terms of games now, it's less powerful than the old one was, because it's just using onboard graphics. So I don't use it for games. I tend to think if you're going to have stuttery frame rates that just aren't silky smooth, I'm not going to bother. So now I am almost entirely console gaming. You know, PS3, yeah, it's not state-of-the-art compared to a state-of-the-art PC, but I don't have the money for that kind of thing. And it is very much... it does have some of the annoyances that you have on a PC. as has been said already. You've got the whole stupid install updates and blah blah, and it's a lot more complicated than a console ever should be, and that annoys me. But once you've bought it, you've bought it. There's no messing around, no taking bits out, updating them, upgrading them, any of that kind of nonsense that you don't want to have to do. You buy it, and it's good for a long time. It might start looking dated compared to PC games, but so what? If the games are still fun to play, it'll do. And to be honest, I mean, yeah, the PS3 has been around for a little while now, but the games still make me go, wow, that looks good. I mean, really, it doesn't matter if they don't go to uber high resolution. They look good. You just... Well, you can ask for more than that, but really, is there a need to? I don't feel the need. They would... I don't know what they can do to make things significantly better in any meaningful way. I mean, higher resolution. Well, how high can you go before your eyes don't notice the difference? Visual... I don't know, special effects. I don't know. I don't know what they can do that they aren't doing at the moment, and since I haven't seen anything else that makes my jaw drop and say, I want that, it's all good with me. I'm happy with my console, and to be honest, I don't actually spend that much time these days with current gen games. I find myself buying the odd game here or there and being kind of unimpressed. Like Fallout 3, I was just like, ugh. I've played it a couple of times. I'm almost certainly not going to go back to it. And the same with, was it Killzone 2? Ugh. What I am enjoying surprises the hell out of me, because its reputation is so appalling in terms of bugs. They seem to have... maybe that's on the PC. I know the first version was bugged to hell on the PC and I had to patch it, and now it just won't work at all. But anyway, Test Drive Unlimited 2. I am really, really enjoying it. They must have lined out the bugs in the updates or whatever, but I picked it up like brand new for 20 quid, which, yeah, I'll pay that for a game. You know, I wouldn't be thinking about paying the 40 quid or whatever full price for it because of its reputation. But having paid 20 quid for it, I think that was a very fair price, because it's a lot of fun. I mean, you just drive around like a complete idiot and enter races if you want to. And you can talk to people. It's got the voice chat thing on it, though I don't bother with that. I just like romping across the countryside in cars that weren't designed for it. Fun. Yeah, so for me, consoles over PCs, just because it's easier, it's cheaper, and they do the job well enough for my liking. Okay, moving on. I was asked a question last night by I will pronounce it as Into the Past, though in is just like N. It's a N, letter N, number 2. You'll see, I'll link down there or something. Right, anyway, yes, he asked me my preference in gaming, because I'd done the Berserk game and had said, you know, I'm not really into this that much. He asked, what am I into? And it's a fair question actually, because I mean, there are those of you who have been following my videos, I'm getting my terminology from Twitter crossed with my terminology from YouTube. Isn't that weird? You've got subscribers, you've got followers, you've got friends, and the terminologies are all different from the different social sites. Anyway, what was I saying? What am I into? Because like lots of subscribers who've come along recently won't actually be familiar with what I like. And it is actually a really hard question to answer. Not least because there are two different sides to my taste in gaming. There is the current generation, and I can be really specific about that. I like first-person shooters, and racing games, and that's about it. I've tried other stuff and I don't like much of what else there is, and things do seem an awful lot more limited these days in terms of what genres are available. Everything has become so compartmentalized and pigeonholed and everything. And then when something new does come up, Little Big Planet, I thought, oh, this is brilliant, this is something new and refreshing and whatever, and I tried it and I didn't like it anyway. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my, looking up at my collection there. It is almost all first person, if not shooters, then sandbox games and driving games. And the stuff that doesn't fall into those categories I don't like. Little Big Planet and, well, Ratchet and Clank, Virtua Fighter 5, don't like them. I bought them based entirely on their reputation, because I do try not to buy crap games unless they're cheap, and I'm just like, if it's a impulse buy, you know, it's cheap in Wilko's or something, and I'll pick them up for a $5 or whatever. But if I'm going to pay full price, then I will only ever buy something with a good reputation. So yeah, that's my taste in current gen games. But for retro stuff, it gets really, really hard to define. Firstly, you haven't got first-person shooters anyway. But then if I look at my collection, it is massively varied, and it seems that games back then were more varied anyway. And I think what it comes down to, the stuff I really like are the classic arcade games. I will buy home versions of games that I played in the arcades. So there's a lot of shooters. I've got a lot of Pac-Man games, so I'm not especially a fan of Pac-Man. So that recent Miss Pac-Man, no wait, you haven't seen that yet. Yeah, okay. I love 8-bit and to some degree 16-bit conversions of arcade games. As it gets later, I mean, Sega kind of really specialised in doing arcade conversions with their, like, the Saturn and Dreamcast, and I think by then that was not a good thing, because their games were smaller and more compact and ultimately less value for money than what you were getting on the PS1, which were bigger games, PS1 and PS2. But for the 8 and 16-bit era, yeah, arcade games, whatever they were, shooters, driving, there weren't too many great driving games. The odd maze shooters, really. What else was there back then? Well, Marble Madness, and Paperboy, and things like that. I like simple, immediate, pick up and play. I used to be into stuff that had a bit of depth. Now, these days, I don't have the time for that, so it's like immediate, pick up and play, instant gratification. If I've only got half an hour or something to play games, I'm not going to play something that's really big and immersive. RPGs are out, absolutely do not want. Strategy games, real-time strategy, anything turn-based, whatever, nope. Except for two-player Command and Conquer Red Alert. I haven't played it in years because the friend I used to play it with is still in Milton Keynes, and obviously I'm not in Milton Keynes anymore, so yeah, that used to be fun. I mean, we could play that for absolutely hours. But that's about the only strategy game I ever liked. Yeah, so big, wide variety, but got to be immediate. And I mean, genre, apart from those few, anything goes, so long as it's fun. And that's the thing, it really is, it's a lucky dip, really. You don't know. I might like driving games. I love driving games, but in the 8-bit era, particularly the Atari 2600, you've got Enduro. I love it. It, to me, is one of the all-time most fantastic driving games ever made. And then you've got Pole Position, came out around the same time. Hate it, think it's an absolute big steaming pile of rubbish. So yeah, you just can't tell. Some games are good, some aren't, and I think it's down to the talent of the programmers or the designers, really. It's not, with things like that, it's not about genre. It's about talent. Okay, shout out time. I've got to move into the other room now, haven't I? Ha! Alright. Bear with me. Right then. Today's shout out goes to a user who's been a subscriber to my channel for, I've lost count of how long, a long time. It is The Joy of Sticks. Now he's had this channel here since, what, 2007, and has made videos on and off for most of that time. But he has just recently started making videos on a more frequent basis, and I do hope he keeps it up because they're really good. And what his channel is about is the Atari ST. He's obviously quite an ST fan. We've got this video here is looking at his collection, or his core collection, so that'll be like his top stuff. Package video there, package video, shout outs. Lots of ST gameplay videos. So really, if you're into the ST, this is a great channel to go to. I like it, actually not because it's the ST, because I'm an Amiga fan, so the ST is the work of the devil. But nevertheless, it's like I say so often, I like his manner, I like his temperament, I like the way he presents his videos. It's a personality thing. And it's actually true of pretty much every channel that I'm subscribed to. It's a personality thing as much as anything. I might be interested in the games, I might not, but they're just enjoyable to watch because of the person who's presenting it. Yeah, I like this channel. It is The Joy of Sticks. He's on 64 subscribers at the moment. Yeah. Some cool people have found him already. I'm hoping a lot more will. Short and sweet, really. I mean, what can I tell you that isn't glaringly obvious right here? Cool guy, Atari ST gameplay and pickup videos. Lamatron, cool. International Karate Plus. Yeah, you get the gist. Go have a look. Subscribe if you like it. I do, I subbed. And someone's messaging me. No, they're texting me. There we are with that whole keyword jargon crap. I hate texts. Okay. There we go, I'm back in the usual room now. I'll just tidy up in here. So, closing comments. You know, the pointless bit where I don't do any of what I say I'm going to do. I did do what I said I was going to do. I did lots of Atari videos, and there are lots more to come. Probably about another 6 or 7 weeks worth. In fact, I dug out a load of Atari 2600 cartridges, ones that need the paddle controller or our 2-player. I didn't get around to doing them. I mean, the very first videos I did for this channel are Atari 2600. So for all those of you who are thinking, oh, he hasn't done any of them, yeah, I have, about 3 years ago. There is a playlist. Oh, that reminds me, yeah, you may have noticed, or you may not, I don't know how well it works. I've done something with the playlists so that when you watch a video now, it will have some doofer right down at the bottom of the web page thingy in your browser that gives you access to the playlist, or easy access to the playlist that game is in. And all of those playlists are done by system. So if you're watching an Atari 800 video, or 8-bit, you will see the playlist at the bottom of the page with all of the other videos of that computer. Well, that's the theory. I don't know how well it works. It seems to work on mine using Chrome. How well it works on Firefox or Explorer, who knows. Other stuff. What was I saying? Yes, got those Atari games lined up. I mean, I've said it before. I want to try and cram in at least one Shenmue video in the near future, because I now have the time, because I've got a stockpiled load of videos. I mean, I said I would. Even way back when I did that drunken one, I probably said there would be more. There will be more. And that will be like bonus video. It won't be the video of the day. It'll just be something I throw in extra, because that's how I always did those anyway. Other stuff, I don't know. I make it up as I go along. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for watching.